Hi, this is Nancy with On Point TV. Things may look a little bit odd because I'm not totally sure what I'm doing. We have never before done what I'm doing. I'm introducing to you, like for instance, right now I can hear that the sound is on, so I have to turn off the sound. Please excuse me. All right, did that work? No. No. There, okay. So I'm going to do a test. Athena, can you still hear me? Athena? All right, I'm all alone in the studio. If this goes very, very bad, I think that we will, okay, all right. So I don't know what this is asking me. So this is supposed to be my introduction into that we're going to be doing these memberships. And how this is going to work is it's not going to be a normal live video. As a matter of fact, I'm having a hard time looking at the screen because I can see me talking to you, but not at the same time. So please excuse me, and I will get better and better at this because this is a little different than anything else that I've ever done. So how this is going to work, if you choose to be a member with the Quilting with Nancy, there's going to be 3 levels, and I'll be sending out a video all about this you'll be able to join. You can't join via this video. This video is going to show you what those membership videos will look like. I'm so nervous. I don't know why I'm so nervous. I'm not so nervous when I do videos, but today I am. So tomorrow, I will be posting the video that is an introduction explaining the membership fees, how they will work, and there should be, fingers crossed, a join button on that. I've gone through all the steps that I'm supposed to do. And what I want you to see today is what it'll look like, because it won't just be a normal me talking into the screen. It will be us using actually Zoom format. And the reason I'm going to use Zoom format is because with Zoom, I can switch what we're seeing. So I'm going to close this screen here a second. All right, that's a little easier for me to see. And I can share different cameras. So for instance, I can share a different camera. So this is a camera that is directed onto my sewing machine. So let's say that you have a question about, Nancy, can you explain to me better how to do curved piecing? I will say, yes, I can. Watch how this works. And so with the magic of these cameras, so there's that camera and this camera, I will be able to tell you, all right, the first thing I would do is nip on my inside angle, the center of that angle. Then I would take my larger outside angle and I would nip that also. This helps me know where the center of my block is. Now I'm going to match up those nips. And I think I started doing these little notches or nips or whatever back because I'm a seamstress. I was a seamstress long before I was a quilter. And then I'm going to put another pin in. Now with this particular style of curve that I'm going to do, I'm going to have this stick out 1/4 of an inch. I cut these with an omni grid, omni arch. And by doing that, I cut 2 sizes and they do not include their seam allowance. So I have to actually have this edge overlap a little bit, the actual 1/4 inch. When I piece curves, I always piece curves with the concave on top. So when you're looking at a curve, concave is the one that makes a C. So you see that this makes a C. So I'm going to make this concave on top. But you know what? Before I do that, can you hold on 1 second? I need to see if I can figure out how I can possibly see comments. So 1 second, going to reach over here. I might need Athena's help with this because I don't know how to do that yet. I think maybe if I go, I'm sorry, as you watch me learn, YouTube, I'm live. Can I join it then? Okay, I'm joining. So now, hi, I can say hello to Carl. I'm sorry, I can't say your name. Hello, and hello to Scotland. So, all right, I can do this now, but I do need to turn down the volume. There, now I can just hear me and I can just see that. So back to business. This is a curve. So this is how I piece my curve. So with this type of technology, I can now switch back to me again. Hi, this is me. You can see, oh, the quilt behind me. I'm sorry you're seeing so much above. I thought I had tipped that. Let me try and do it now. there. That mess above can kind of get distracting, and that's my upper camera. I'll figure that out later. I'm not too worried about it. But the quilt behind me is a quilt that I'm working on now. There should be a book available. I'm hoping by Thanksgiving is the game plan. We're actually starting a video series and the book, and it will be completely free like normal YouTube. That is not the membership. The memberships is the question and answer. All right, back to my technique. So now we're going to go to the sewing machine camera. So with the sewing machine camera, you've got the best view ever. You can totally see what I'm doing. So I've got my needle pushed all the way over to a little bit more. I'm going to go a little bit closer than the 1/4 inch, because when I'm doing curves that are not a traditional curve, I'm okay with just an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So then I bring my convex is the red fabric. My concave is, I just push it forward and I'm able to go around that curve. So very slowly, I take my time. Sometimes I will use my awl to help me get those curves out. As I get to the center, I can remove that pin. Then I can figure out the second half of this curve. Again, convex is on the bottom, concave is on top. So this would be the kind of sewing machine view that you would be able to get. If you have a question on how to do a certain technique, it can be more than me just telling you how to do it. With the membership, the way that it's going to be, I'll be able to do these videos and actually show you. So now I can switch my camera again. All right, so the only thing I'm not able to show you in my little setup that I have here is an iron. So without an iron, hi Rhode Island and Arkansas and Kentucky, without an iron here, I'm just gonna finger press this. So now maybe the question could be, but Nancy, look at how silly that looks with those little notches hanging out. Well, I could then, using this camera view, show you how I square it up. So I have an OmniGrid 12.5 inch square. I have been squaring these blocks up to, I think, 7.5 inches. So I'm lining up my diagonal line going all the way to the top square. And then here at the bottom, down to the very point. Really love that diagonal line. And always when you're squaring up, do you see the 1/1 of the ruler? I am right-handed. That means I must put the 1/1 of the ruler in the top right-hand side. If I'm left-handed, the 1/1 would be on the left-hand side. All right. So hello, Oregon. Thank you very much, Veronica. So again, this is information about what the membership will look like. So if you are a member, you could ask me these kinds of questions. Nancy, how do you do a curve piecing? And I could do that very specific, very close up piecing. And I can also, the question is, well, how would you then square it up? Well, this is how I would square it up. So with this membership type information, I'll be able to answer your questions, the questions that you want answered. You're stuck on a technique. You don't quite know what to do next. Maybe you took a class and you're stumped by how to finish that. I'm here to help you. And that's what the membership will do for you. Now, the beginner level membership, now I'm going to switch to my other camera, which I love this thing. All right. So with the beginner level membership, that is going to be a $4.99 fee, and it will be billed to you through YouTube, and it's a monthly fee. It's a subscription that you'll be joining, and once a month we'll be doing a question and answer, things like this. Now it might be a question and answer like, Nancy, I don't know, just anything, anything about quilting. Keep in mind, I only know about quilting. I don't know much about anything else. I know about quilting. So I'm willing to take the challenge to be here live and to take those questions. You also can send me information ahead. So if you've got the membership, you can send a question ahead. Go, Nancy, I just am not sure what to do with these design. I have some 8-inch blocks. Now, what do I do with them? How do I set them? Well, in a case like that, I would, oops, I gotta go down. No, there it is. All right. I would take this and I would go and share a screen. So what's cool about this is I can specifically show you electric quilt. So this is a small version of that quilt that was behind me. I designed it on electric quilt. But let's say, you know, Nancy, I want to make that quilt, but I want to make it in different colors. I want to have, I'm going to go up here to my libraries, to my fabric library, and I'm going to pick a random fabric over here from the manufacturers. Let's go this one. So I'm going to say, what if you say, I really want to make this quilt in soft pastels? Well, I would be able to take you right to Electric Quilt and I would show you how I would do that. So if I were going to make this with pastels, I would change up all my colors. I would make this one change to that. I would make these change to that. And I can actually just change things. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. And I would change all these bright colors into these beautiful pastel colors. Oops, trying to make sure I don't reuse something over and over again. And this is what we could do. So if you wanted to see this quilt made in a different way, more pastel-y, it could be done like this. And then you can go back to something large, and then we could totally change. Let's say you want to change the border, but Nancy, I don't like doing a border like this. I really want to have a mitered border. Well, I can show you what it would look like with a mitered border. And after I would get, oops, borders, designs, layout, there we go, designs. All right, and then sometimes I just kind of sort of a little bit stump myself. I don't want a checkered border. I want, and I don't want that. I want, oh, I think I must have to go down here. Well, this is very odd. Anyway, trust me, I do know how to change borders when it comes to this. I'm just like being stumped for a second on how to do that. But I could change the borders. And then if you're a member, you would be able to then, I would be able to get you the information that you want. So now I'm going to, and if you can see, I'm like going back, okay, going back to my screen, share. Am I going back to that? Nope, I'm going to stop the share. There it is. Okay, so now I'm back. So I would be able to help you with that. The reason I bring up Electric Quilt, your light on the sewing machine has a glare. Maybe if you turn it off and angle the light different, it would be better. I will do my very best, the lady Copic. I will do my very best. I know that there's a glare and I've tried using external lights, but every time I use an external light, then we get total bleed out. And so I'm not really quite sure what the answer is with the lighting on the sewing machine, but we will keep trying. And every time we do it, we try to make it better and better. What software does EQ require? It requires the Electric Quilt software. It isn't so much that you have to have a fancy computer. It has to have some of those megabytes and those things that are computer words that I don't know what they mean. But you don't have to have a super new computer. You don't have to have a gaming fast computer or anything like that. The program is called Electric Quilt, and they're up to number 8. So this is what I would call EQ8. And you can go on to electricquilt.com and find out all the information about that. It's really, for all that it can do, trust me, it's not that expensive. There's so many other programs out there that are so much more expensive. So the reason I bring up Electric Quilt is not only will I be able to use that for the membership if you've got questions on design, but the second level of membership would be the designer level. That would mean that you also get the beginner level, but then you also get designer level privileges. And with that would be another monthly video that would happen. I'm pretty sure they would happen on Thursday nights. Why we're doing this on a Wednesday night is because I have plans tomorrow night. So it's going to be a Thursday night kind of a thing. With the designer level, I will be able to teach you how to use Electric Quilt. It is a program, and unless you're kind of techie, and trust me, I'm not really techie, but unless you've got some computer skills, it can be a little tough to get started. So I would be here to take you step by step through. And what's cool is that it wouldn't be just you learning, it would be everybody else that is at that membership level. And that goes along with, you know, having questions. You might not ever think to ask, well, how do I change the size of a leaf in my applique in the program? But because you didn't know that you could do it, and I could, if somebody else asked that, then you would know that you could do that. So a lot of learning, it's almost like being in a big class, just 2 hours of questions and answers. Show me how to do this, show me how to do that. And when you are a designer level member, You also get to be part of the beginner level member. So you get to have 2 times a month, twice a month, that you get to be with me. You can send your questions ahead of time through my email, or you can just come on live and, just do a question just like now. I see that Elizabeth is here. Hello, Elizabeth in Ireland. So the third level is what I'm calling the quilt addict, which honestly, I think we're all quilt addicts. Once you start quilting, it's really hard to pull back. There's just so much fabric, so many patterns, and so many gifts that you want to make. And quilting is not only just for gifts, it's for the artistry of it. So with that level, the quilt addict level, you will actually receive once a month until they're all gone. I think I've got 11 now of my patterns or books. So for instance, when you first join, the first thing that you'll get is the pattern for the learning to quilt. Now, if you've ever been on my YouTube channel, which honestly, I think that you hide. Hi, Mary Reddick. She's made like you learned to quilt a couple of times. When the beginning first, 150 of the videos on my YouTube channel, which is on Point-TV, just in case you happened here accidentally and didn't know how, are all covering the learning to quilt. That was my very first book, and it's the thing I've been teaching it for 25 years here locally, and then we did the videos. And then every month I would send you another one of the patterns, and when this pattern becomes an pattern, you would get it right away. So I would kind of stagger out the older patterns, but the newer patterns, you would get them right away as soon as there was an pattern available. Now keep in mind, I know that for some people having an pattern isn't good. You don't maybe like to have that, you got to be on your screen. Well, you can purchase the printed one. I'm not saying you can't. And you can print out the download that you get with the pattern. The advantage to the patterns is that there's links involved. So when you're maybe in the Learning to Quilt book and it's talking about doing the bias cables, the instructions are there. You can read the instructions, but boy, it sure is better when you got a video showing you how to do it. And the links are live in the pattern. So you just click on that link and it will take you directly to the YouTube video where I'm teaching you how to do that. So 3 levels: beginner level, $4.99, designer level, $9.99, quilt addict level, $19.99. This is all so that I can keep doing this. If, honestly, you got to have a job, right? You all have jobs. I have a job. I left my corporate job. I just want to quilt now. I want to keep doing YouTube videos just like always. I want to have more time to make more books and patterns, but mostly I want more time to teach. And so this is what this is going to give me. So I hope you enjoyed my little, this is a example of what, the memberships will look like. Tomorrow, I will be posting the video that accidentally got posted earlier, but it didn't have a join button. So I'm very sorry about that. I'll be posting it again. It should have a join button on it. And when it does, that joins, the YouTube takes care of it. YouTube actually does all of the billing. I don't get the whole $4.99 or $9.99. I get a percentage of that. YouTube, they're the ones coming up with the technology. I really think that they should be paid too. And so they will be. So there you have it. This is what this is all about. If you have any questions about the membership or about anything else, consider emailing me at Quilting with Nancy. I really think it's really easy to remember because you're here Quilting with Nancy. And thank you very much for watching. And I really hope to see a lot of you on the membership. Have a really great day. Now I say that, but I'm sitting here going, I'm not quite sure how to end this. Oh, okay. I think it's down here. All right. Bye. Talk to you soon.